in the Senate. And I need your help on this, Senator Harder. There have been many articles in the Quebec media in recent weeks regarding the use of offshore tax havens in funding Canadian marijuana companies. The government leader may remember our colleagues Senator Boisvenu and Senator Joyal questioned the ministers on this issue when they appeared before the Committee of the Whole last week. This morning, La Presse reported that a Canadian hedge fund managed from the Cayman Islands has invested over $250 million, $277 million to be exact, in Canadian medical marijuana companies in just the last few months. Our country does not have a tax treaty with the Cayman Islands, and the identity of the individuals investing these massive sums of money remains a secret. The question: how can the government continue to claim that the legalization of marijuana will eliminate the involvement of organized crime? And when the government does not know who is investing in these companies through offshore tax havens?
Carter. I thank the honourable senator for his question. With respect to his preamble, I can say he's not the only one going downhill in the last 50 years. It's not the only corny one, too. Yeah. The question the honourable senator has raised is an important one, a serious one. I want to point out that under the proposed regulations, security clearances will be mandatory for individuals who occupy key positions in any organization, as well as background checks on significant investors that hold more than 25% of a cannabis company. In addition, the Minister of Finance recently reached an agreement with his provincial and territorial counterparts to ensure that we know who owns which corporations, which will help to prevent Canadians or international companies from facilitating tax evasion, money laundering, or other criminal activities. Ultimately, the government is of the view that this will reduce the risk that organized crime will infiltrate the cannabis industry. I should add that the experience of the medical cannabis regulations, which were first brought into force in 2013, has led and inspired the decisions the government is taking with respect to recreational cannabis. But this, of course, is an issue which we will all have to be vigilant for, and one I hope that we can explore in committee to provide the assurances to the Senate that appropriate enforcement is in place.
Senator Smith.
Just as a follow-up, and thank you very much for the answer, we're talking about the advancement of legalization of marijuana, but organized crime has the ability to anonymously invest in marijuana companies in Canada through these offshore tax havens. And the government has been warned repeatedly about this, and I appreciate the fact that you explained hopefully what the government will do. Even the acting commissioner of the RCMP recently told our standing Senate Committee on Legal and Constitutional Affairs that the legalization of marijuana will not eliminate organized crime's presence in the cannabis market. Yet the government stands by its talking points. I guess as a follow-up question, what does the government intend to do, and if you could add a few thoughts to what you just said earlier, to provide transparency in this area? What will the government do to ensure that the names of those who invest in marijuana companies in Canada are made public to protect public interest?
Senator Harder.
Again, I would want to thank the honourable senator for his question, but the first point I would make is that what is absolutely clear is that aside from the medical marijuana industry today, the marijuana industry is in the hands of organized crime by definition. It is illegal. What the government is seeking to do with the bill that is before the Senate is to ensure that we have not only a legal regime of growing and distribution of recreational marijuana, but that the regulations attendant to it assure that that regime does not become the playground of criminal elements. That is the objective of the regulations as I've described them, but this is going to be a challenge as we pull back the force of organized crime in